It's DTS 175 and the live streams begin for Curse of Osiris and the reset time is changing.
You're listening to Destiny, the show.
What's good, everybody, and welcome to Destiny, the show, the Destiny news podcast to keep you, the Guardian, ahead of the curve in the world of Destiny. I'm BBKDRAGOON. I'm joined, as always, by my great co-host, Ditty. What is up, dude? How was your week? What have you been playing non-Destiny-wise? See, I'm throwing that into the mix because it's like November, like Gamepocalypse has begun.
Yeah, so listeners will know that I'm continuing on in my Overwatch competitive rankings. I'm not super great. I've got a huge loss streak this last week, but I climbed back up. I'm not going to say my rank because it's super embarrassing, but also doing a few things in Warframe. I'm still super noob at that game, and I played more Destiny, honestly. I know you said no, non-Destiny, but this question is hard for me because I played more Destiny than any other game this week on the PC, kind of grinded my character over there.
It's been fun. I definitely wanted to mention at the start of the show a little bit more of the BlizzCon stuff that came out, especially with you being an Overwatch player. The new map for Overwatch looks super cool. The Blizzard world, it's like a carnival of all these Blizzard references. The snack shop in the place, it's supposed to be like a theme park that's Blizzard themed. The snack shop is called Snacks Ramus, and I lost it when I saw that screenshot this week. I'm like, oh my God, Snacks Ramus from WoW. And the skins, what do you think about the new skins?
The new skins are super awesome. I think every release, extra release that Blizzard does for Overwatch is just top notch, and these new skins are no exception. Of course, being a filthy, dirty Widow main, I like the new Widow skin, of course. My other favorite is actually the Torbjorn skin coming out. It's just really nice to see how Blizzard, maker of all these incredible games, they all interact or incorporate all their characters into the same universe. So they're kind of canon with one another. So I think that's actually really cool.
Dude, I really want to see a little Easter egg nod to Destiny in Overwatch or something like that. I mean, if you look at the Ana skin that looks like a hunter, maybe that's already one of those nods. But
yeah, the blue one with her face covered with a helmet or something. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Maybe a little bit of a stretch. I also want to let our listeners know StarCraft 2 is going free to play November 14th, and you get the Wings of Liberty campaign, the whole thing, for free. Ooh. And that's one of the best RTS campaigns of all time. In my opinion, I think that's the best out of the 3 campaigns they released with StarCraft 2. The amount of value and content you're getting there is absurd. I got pulled into the black hole that was competitive StarCraft 2 from 2010 to 2013. Got to Diamond, and then I've pretty much fallen off the horse. But I'd have massive love for that game. And just wanted to share and follow up on that post-BlizzCon, Ditty, because I don't think I mentioned it in last week's show. All right, today, Faction Rally stats. It looks like New Monarchy is likely to win. The streams for Curse of Osiris are beginning. An update from the social developers. A little bit of info on clan chat, guided games. And then we have a few interviews about Curse of Osiris that talk about the Infinite Forest, a new public event, and some of the new PvP maps. All of that and more, plus an infinite ammo glitch coming up. Ditty, where can people find out who's winning this faction rally? I mean, it's over by the time they're listening to this, but in future faction rallies, there's a cool tool in our Discord, right?
Yeah, so one of the bots that we incorporated in our Discord, discord.me/destinytheshow or destinyshow.com/discord, you will see, or clan, I should say, whatever, one of those two. There's a bot that we call Charlemagne, or is called Charlemagne, that you do a command, !faction space rally, and it'll spit out the current number of tokens or levels acquired by each faction worldwide. So it's actually really neat to see the progression there as the as the faction rally goes on throughout the week. So right now, as we're recording this, you said New Monarchy is looking like it's set to win. It's got about 50,000 or 75,000 more rank up packages than the other two factions. So I think that's just a really neat tool there.
Yeah, and it's nice to know we'll get the 1,000-degree knife, or we probably already have that. Those videos have completely died down, by the way. So this faction rally was the first time that the PC players got to try it out. Tons and tons of these token farming methods that I found hilarious. All sorts of different ways to go into hidden sectors, in and out, in and out, in and out, over and over again, and getting as many tokens as possible. I bet you there were some salty PC players who did not know that there's a cap to how many of the rank ups you can get. But I think these are always going to exist in games, Ditty. In some ways, people are like screaming, "You need to patch this now, Bungie." But there's a certain level of... I think gamers just like to feel like they're beating the system. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if there were more engaging and fun ways to get tokens, I don't think it would change anything. People love to feel like you're gaming the system.
Yeah, if something's released in Destiny, or any game for that matter, someone somewhere is gonna find a way to cut the corners, right? And this is exactly what this token farming is. It's gonna happen one way or another. Like the next raid, someone's gonna find a way to cheese it, and it's inevitable at this point. It's a matter of when and how, not if it's gonna happen or not.
Yeah, now the stuff that definitely should get priority, and I'm sure Bungie's looking at it, you showed me it this week. That infinite ammo glitch, dude, is extending past the Wardcliff coil. I'm now seeing it with the fusion rifles, and it's not a big deal in PvP, or at least theoretically. I think you would need to stack 2 power ammo pickups to make it occur. But in PvE, this definitely is something that can be used for your advantage. How is this like kind of operating?
I mean, it's very funny because it incorporates, I mean, it's infinite heavy ammo, you know, and heavy ammo, in my opinion, is actually quite plentiful as you're playing through the different activities, and utilizing that Titan barricade to reload your weapon instantly and have infinite heavy ammo. I mean, again, gamers just gaming the system. So
yeah, I bet this gets hotfixed in a week or two. Speaking of more patches, in the TWAB, official word about what's coming for the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X in the near future. On December 5th, with Curse of Osiris and the launch of Season 2, they're going to be delivering HDR to these consoles. And for PS4 Pro, you'll continue to see that adaptive 4K resolution, and then 4K on the Xbox One X. For those of you who have HDR-capable TVs or monitors, I'm very jealous of you. I can't wait to get to see what one of these looks like in 15 years when I can finally afford it. And have you ever seen HDR, Ditty?
I have. It's unreal. It's
so cool.
For me, like, I look at it and I'm like, this is amazing, and yet entirely unnecessary for anything in my life right now. I don't need it.
As soon as it's affordable, I want it, man. This to me feels, as a video nerd, okay, 2160p, yay, that's really nice. But when you see just like from a viewing distance of like 10 feet back or whatever, like a TV situation, HDR is like, oh my gosh, the colors.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
That's going to be a nightmare once that really enters the world for video editors, because that, I can just imagine having such more information in the color depth is going to just raise render times, CPU requirements, all that jazz. All right, Ditty, when's our first Clarion call getting here, and what on earth is the Clarion call?
Clarion call is starting on November 17th. And the Clarion call is basically double XP for everything you do with a fellow clan member in your fire team.
Yay!
That's it. And they do say, I'll quote here from the TWAB, if you aren't in a clan, this would be the perfect time to join one. Your increased gains will run from 10 a.m. Pacific on November 17th to 10 a.m. Pacific on November 20th. And they also say if you're dedicated to playing solo, there will be future Clarion calls that won't require you to play with a clan.
Yeah. So I love this. This is right before the transition to season 2. And so for everybody who wants to just grind their face off and try and get as many bright engrams as possible as they can, before they retire the season 1 Eververse gear, that's a really cool idea. I would love to see it extend out past playing with a clanmate, because I know there's still probably a very significant portion of the community that isn't in a clan. Shoutouts to DTS yet again. I'm blown away on both the PC and the PS4 side, the two sides of the clan I have insight to. You guys are devouring the weekly activities, and I'm very thankful. And I haven't seen on Xbox One, but I'm assuming that they're getting to play pretty regularly as well. So thanks for being active, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I logged into BungieNet, I think on Wednesday or Thursday of this last week, and the PC clan already had all 4 engrams. And I was just like, oh, nice, awesome. Gonna log in, get those free gear. And of course, our dedicated console clans as well. They're kicking ass.
Indeed. So we heard some word from social designers Emmy Chung and Steve Dolan. You may remember Emmy Chung was who came out at the Destiny 2 reveal event to talk about guided games, and really the main improvements that we're going to be seeing on December 5th for the social side of the game is that full clans can now guide. Ditty, they heard your rant, and Finally. They actually changed that. That's a cool dude. And then they've added an audio cue so that you know when you found a guide. So when you're browsing Reddit, the hour that you're waiting to find somebody to Nightfall with, it'll be like, hey, you awake over there? It's time to Nightfall, bud. Added reminders that if you reject a clan, that you're still at the front of the queue, so you can only pick guides with a mission statement that looks appealing to you. And guided games will support the new Nightfall and raid content you'll find in Curse of Osiris, which I would certainly hope. They did acknowledge in this portion of the TWAB that clan chat would be really cool, and that's something that they're looking to do in the future. They definitely say that they can do a much better job about guided games, and they're still working on that emote wheel, Ditty, that will let us equip multiple emotes. No time frames on any of these, and I have to say, you can't really stand behind the statement that they're not listening. They're definitely listening. We just don't have the timeline of when these things are going to go into effect. So I'm pretty pleased that they sort of ticked all the boxes of, yes, we're hearing your feedback. Please keep it coming. We're going to try and do this, but we can't tell you when just yet. So,
yeah, when I saw the bullet point of full clans can now guide, I did a dance in my chair at the office. I was just like, yes, we finally get to do it. And finally, because like all 3 DTS clans across every console is full right now, and so I know we've got people who want to be guides and they just can't because of that limitation, but now they're fixing it. Yes.
To those who've been asking, I know I've had a few clan members ask me, what's the difference between a beginner and a member when you look at that in your clan? Really, this is just a feature that Bungie set up for clan admins to sort of delegate who they think should be allowed to run as a guide. You can basically set up roles to where members can run as guides and beginners can't. In all the DTS clans, anybody can be a guide. We've not set up any of those restrictions, but if anybody's curious why they have those arbitrary terms, it's not because we're labeling you a beginner. You have all the features that everybody else does. It's just there's a little bit of the distinction there if you want it as a clan leader.
Yep.
Reset time is changing. I know the North American YouTubers are thrilled about this, Ditty. When is reset happening?
Starting on December 5th, so Curse of Osiris release, resets will occur at 1700 UTC.
So that is 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be
noon
really
Central
nice.
Time, of course. That's
It was 1 a.m. if you guys were curious.
Yeah,
so.
it was stupid early in the morning for... Now, okay, we are cheering, right? Because this makes it better for us, but we can't ignore that. It's resetting it for, other parts of the world, and it's going to make it less convenient for the rest of the world. But I think this is actually, I like it a lot.
This will time nicer with releases too,
It will, yeah, because I was just about to say, a lot of their patches and maintenance periods, those kinds of things, releases, typically happen at this time, and it didn't make sense, I guess, from their perspective to have a reset at 4 a.m. and then a release again at noon that same day. So they're just kind of unifying everything into one time. So it's going to be a little bit more predictable that way.
Yes. And to wrap things up, this Wednesday, guys, head to twitch.tv/Bungie for the very first Curse of Osiris live stream. And I think that starts at 11 a.m. PST. Is that right, Ditty?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And we'll have 3 weeks of streams. Like Ditty said in last week's show, this initial stream is probably the one you're going to want to tune in for, as it will be probably the most substantial. I could be wrong. They might have some hidden things. They do keep throwing in allusions to that new raid content being talked about in these live streams, Ditty. And just to circle back to our conversation last week, I am actually okay if it is the Leviathan. Like, let's say the Leviathan space whale does follow you around throughout, the first 2 expansions of Destiny 2, and it adds 2 new bosses, or maybe 3 new bosses with these expansions. That actually fulfills sort of an idea we've talked about a bunch on the shows, wanting tier-based raids, where it takes a really long time, the course of like a year, before we're going to actually go and fight the ultimate boss of the Leviathan, like real Callus. And that would be pretty cool. I do hope for new tile sets, because that purple and gold is going to melt my eyes out of my face if that's what we have to keep looking at for the next year. But I actually don't think that's a terribly bad idea if it lets them create cool encounters and they don't have to spend as much time building brand new lore for these things,
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I think it would give us more continuity within the Destiny universe, as opposed to having these releases and DLCs dropping in their own little story mode bubbles and just being totally seemingly segmented from the rest of the lore, right? And it would give us a larger arc bad guy. I think that would be really cool.
Totally. All right, a few articles came out this week for Curse of Osiris. I don't think there's a whole lot of point talking too much speculation, because the live stream will be out by the time a lot of people listen to this show. But we did hear there's no new PvP modes coming with it. However, the live team is working on new PvP modes. The director for Curse of Osiris, Dave Matthews, has said, "I'm really in charge of the story and the direction of the story within Curse of Osiris, but things like the economy changes are handled by the live team, and the live team are planning on making changes to not only Legendary Shard economy, but how Xur is going to operate moving forward. Perhaps maybe some new consumables, or maybe they're going to change things up with it. I actually don't have a clue what they're going to do to swap the economy up, but we do know the way gearing is going to work. He alluded to, at least in this Italian interview, Dave Matthews did, some changes there. But Ditty, he said something about the Infinite Forest that got your mind sort of turning, right?
Yeah, so they said, let me see, where is that paragraph that I saw? Here it is. So they hinted at that players will be able to get Osiris's gauntlets from the trailer that we saw, so that'll actually be acquirable in-game. Probably exotic gauntlets there with the Vex Radiolaria, or yeah, I think that's what it's called. And there will be a very unusual, quote, never seen before type of public event, and that Mercury's Infinite Forest will contain its fair share of time-bending surprises. So that sentence piqued my interest, right? And this is where I'm going to speculate just a tiny, tiny bit, because I don't want to set my expectations way too high. First of all, the new public event utilizing just brand new that we've never seen before. And since it's a Vex-based expansion, new patrol within the Infinite Forest potential patrol space, I thought maybe there's going to be some type of new Vex technology that we've seen previously in Destiny, like a time gate going through a portal and having a new thing there, or maybe even a relic that we'll be able to use. I think that would actually be pretty cool. My initial thought and less realistic idea was within the public event, and this probably wouldn't work because it would be a social encounter, but everyone freezes in time except for one person, and they have to complete an objective to complete the public event. But that would be probably too complex, and especially if no one loads into your social instance. And the second part of that was the Infinite Forest having its own time-bending surprises. It made me think of Vault of Glass And for those of you who didn't play Vault of Glass in Destiny 1, there was this mechanic in the final boss room, spoilers ahead, where you had to open up a Vex gate and go through that Vex gate. And depending on which one you went through, you went to the past or the future. And also what it looked like when you entered that space. It was either like a Mars tile set or a Venus tile set, desert versus forest, basically. So I thought maybe in the Infinite Forest, since it's procedurally generated, that we could see something like that. So every new area that you go through would be through a time gate, and then you're teleported to a different part of time rather than a different part on Mercury. So I think that would actually be pretty cool.
It opens up a lot of options too, for tile sets. You could transition into a place that looks really, really different, maybe like a dense forested area, or you go to like desert, like you said. What if we revisit some of the past like Destiny 1 locations, like now you're in the Dust Palace. Oh, now you're not. Now you're back.
Or even like what we're more familiar with is Nessus, right? Nessus is what they said 90-something% converted by the Vex. So
yeah,
that is almost what we see as a Vex planet, which we'll see 100% with Mercury coming soon in Curse of Osiris.
It's pretty darn cool. Now, on the cover of Expansion 1, Ditty, we obviously have a Warlock. In the cover of the Expansion 2, there's a Hunter. Could we see a Titan on Expansion 3, which will be like our... I mean, if it follows the Destiny 1 blueprint, that looks to be something this fall, kind of like the Taken King, or is something else altogether?
Just Zavala on the front cover of the third expansion.
Dude, I would buy the Zavala expansion pack in a heartbeat.
Shaxx. Shaxx would be more badass. That would be...
Yeah.
That would be like, ooh, what could that be? Because we never had Shaxx really in the story, except for like the very beginning of Destiny 2.
Guardian, let me open this door!
All your stuff was blown up, but here, get this level 1 weapon that I have. No, I actually really don't want it to be a Titan. I don't want to follow suit. I want the third DLC to drop like a totally new class, like playable Fallen class, or the strange, or like a Hawthorne style, like not a Guardian, like a person, or like Devrim in the EDZ, like a human, right? Who doesn't have the light, that has different abilities that he has to use, he or she rather. And I think that would just be super hype, because it would be totally unexpected and new, and I think that would get people really excited.
Dude, I agree. More than a new subclass. Okay. That is where they can expand the gameplay out exponentially for me in Destiny 2. Like that, when you just brought that up, that is the most excited I've gotten just thinking about. Oh my word. New classes, not new subclasses, new classes that each have, 3 subclasses with them. I would love to see it just expand. Or, I mean, the Taken King comes out. Here's a brand new class. By the way, there's now 5 subclasses for every class. So we're adding 2 to the existing, Titan Hunter, Warlock. But then you've got 5 new ones to play from. I know it would be a nightmare for them to have to balance, but that's really the kind of path I want to choose moving forward. I think it's very safe for them, what they did with Destiny 2. They didn't really dip into bringing any new subclasses in. They just sort of retooled what the existing thematics were. Obviously, I know Dawnblade, quite different than Sunbreaker, but you can still see there's a lot of overlap between the two. So that, to me, Ditty, that just, that is exciting, just thinking about all the stuff you could do.
Destiny 1 fans will be super excited about this. Just imagine the third DLC image drops, and it's Varix, right? The fallen ally that we had in House of Wolves. And it's just him, right? With no text or anything, or like just the text, DLC 3, fall 2018 or whatever. Just that would be the biggest tease and the best tease ever. I'm getting...
Dude, a Varix voice pack for PvP? Capture points. No. Oh, man. There's a lot of potential. I'm getting excited here. All right, last thing I wanted to close out with, Ditty. I have an idea, right? So they've said they want to add clan chat into Destiny 2. They've thought about adding, and they even mentioned in the bit, adding in all chat spaces like the tower or whatnot. That's an awesome way if and when they add it to group up with people, right? If there's like an LFG chat channel, you're saying, I'm looking for 2 more, do the Nightfall, whisper me. That's really cool. But what if you're on the console and you don't have access to that? I don't think they're ever going to add like a voice chat for the tower or something like that. It'd be really cool if they put in some sort of way within the clan for me to, when I get on, like, I'm looking to Nightfall or Trials, and I click 2 little things, and then my name card shows in the clan roster that I'm looking, or even in my friends list, that I'm looking to do those 2 things, so that I don't have to individually go through the list and send somebody a message going, hey, you want a Nightfall? You know what I'm saying? That would be a really cool idea. I feel like I don't know how hard it would be to implement, but I think it'd be effective, you know?
Yeah, basically you put your name into a virtual waiting room for people to join, and you can go through the tower, do a patrol while you're waiting. That would be super cool. That would make grouping up into fire teams with your clan members or with your friends way easier, I think. Yeah, that would be super awesome.
Dude, okay, in Call of Duty World War II, the social space, which is now a very anti-social space, okay, so in Call of Duty World War II, HQ, I think it like had 48 some odd people in it the first couple of days. Like that's how big the social space was. So there's just people everywhere. And they've had to disable that feature because, at least for now, it was causing a lot of infinite loading problems. They were having a hard time instancing all that many people. So now it's just you in the social space. And like one of my objectives is like, you need to commend another soldier. And I'm like, I can't. There's no one here. And so on the beach are leaderboards, actual leaderboards for the different modes, Ditty. Awesome. And as you walk up to them, they load. And I was just thinking, in the tower, oh, that would be so juicy if you just, hey, load into the tower with your buddies. Who's that? Who's that there with the fastest lap time in SRL for that map? Is that Ditty? It's Ditty right there.
Bungie, right there. Worldwide leaderboards.
Yes. I think it's got all the distinctions that normal COD leaderboards do, but it was just cool. I looked at it and I went, that's sweet. Destiny needs to do that. All right, guys. I hope you enjoy the live stream this week from Bungie. Ditty, where can people find your content?
Twitter.com/Ditty, DTS, DITTY, DTS, where I forgot to mention at the top of the show, you'll see a picture there of a cheese that I recently tried out. Because I was just at the grocery store, and it was just, oh my goodness, I would need to try that. It's the brand is Deer Creek. This is not a paid promotion, by the way, and this is totally random. BBK has no idea I'm about to say this. The brand is Deer Creek, the rattlesnake flavor. It's sweet and spicy. It is a specialty cheddar cheese. It says it's infused with tequila and habanero peppers. And it's fantastic. When I bought it, when I saw it in the store, I thought it said jalapeno peppers, but it says habanero peppers. So it was way spicier than I thought it was. I just chopped off a block of it and put it in my mouth, and my mouth was on fire for 10 minutes. It's fantastic. Also, youtube.com/wooshness, WOOOSHNESS.
Oh man, the cheese plugs are real. We need a cheese sponsorship, dude. Remember to follow us on Twitter @DestinyTheShow. And all the links from today's show and more are found on our website, destinytheshow.com. If you're interested in joining our clan or learning more about our Discord, you can go to destinytheshow.com/clan. Crazy, I know. You can follow me @BBKDRAGOON on both YouTube and Twitter. Have a great week, Guardians, and we will talk with you next time.